The following program has been generously funded by the Patterson Foundation. This book is cool.
Welcome to this episode of This Book is Cool. My name is Beth Duda, and I'm the director of the Suncoast Campaign for grade level reading. You might notice that I have a very wide smile on my face today, and it's because this book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, makes me smile. This book was written by Laura Numeroff and illustrated by Felicia Bond. I know many of you are probably familiar with the antics of this little mouse, and we have a special guest today who really enjoys this book. With us, we have Ken Waters from Sarasota Housing Authority. Hi, Ken, how are you?
Hi, Ms. Beth, how are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm so excited to be talking about this book with you today. So, Ken, can you tell me one of the reasons why you think this book is cool?
I like that all the crazy things that happen in this book are a result of a mouse wanting a cookie. A simple desire turns into a day full of antics. Plus, who doesn't like cookies?
I agree with you. Do you have a favorite flavor of cookies?
I do. It's oatmeal raisin.
Oh, I like oatmeal raisin cookies also. My mother used to make oatmeal raisin cookies, and every once in a while, she'd put in some chocolate chips just to kind of mix it up. So
Yes.
I recommend it highly. If you've never had an oatmeal raisin chocolate chip cookie, give it a try.
We'll try that.
The mouse has such a great personality. There are so many things about the mouse that I find intriguing, and I think great imagination of the author. One of the things that I noticed is that the mouse seems to enjoy cleaning.
Yes, it's funny that this mouse likes to clean. First, he tidies up himself, making sure he doesn't have a milk mustache and trimming his hair. Then he gets carried away and he sweeps the whole house and washes the floors. Where can I get a mouse like this?
I know, we all need a mouse like that. If I could find one that would clean my house, I'd be all for it. So I do want to show a picture of the mouse doing some of the cleaning, because I think it's so funny the way the illustrator shows us that the mouse can spend all of this time. And especially because he's so little and the cleaning things are so big. It gives an aspect of humor, I think. I also like chain of events that happens in the book. You know, one thing leads to a next thing, leads to a next thing.
For example, when you give a mouse milk, he'll probably ask for a straw. It's fun to guess what is going to happen next.
And some of the things made terrific sense where, you know, if you do this, then he'll probably do this. But some of the things that the author came up with were a surprise.
Right. The most fun part of the story is the ending. You know, it circles back to how it all began. After all these things the mouse has done, he's going to want another cookie.
It is. It's so much fun. And a book, I think, that families will find they can read over and over and over again and find new things in the illustrations and new things to giggle at every time they read it.
You know, this book includes a board game which features obstacles from the book, such as, milk mustache, move back one.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because we're actually going to share that game with our friends at the end of the episode. So hopefully they'll all have an opportunity to play the game with their families.
Great, yes.
So Ken, I know that you enjoy reading and that you're a wonderful advocate for reading.
Oh, I think reading is important because it takes us to other places that we haven't been. It expands our knowledge, takes us on adventures that we probably wouldn't experience in our normal everyday lives. And the information that you get from reading is timeless, and you'll carry it with you forever.
Yes, and sometimes if we read wonderful books like the book we shared today, reading makes you want a cookie.
Yes.
Well, thanks for being with us today, Ken. We certainly appreciate your time.
Well, thank you much, Miss Beth. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
I enjoyed finding out that Ken Waters' favorite cookie is a cookie that I enjoy too. I love finding out when friends of mine have things in common. But I also enjoy it when we find out we're a little bit different. I think that is one of the great things about getting to know other people. You find out what they like. So, this book is definitely something that I like. Our little mouse creature starts out wanting a cookie, but when he gets a cookie, that leads him to the next thing and the next thing. So we see him here saying that he's looking in a mirror, and that leads him to think that he needs a haircut. And then that leads him to the next thing. It's so much fun to read this book. I hope you'll read it with your mom or your dad, or read it to a sibling or a friend. The author also gave us some terrific words for our word bank. The first word for our word bank is the word trim. Trim. When the mouse looks in the mirror and thinks he needs a haircut, he talks about getting a hair trim, cutting off just a little bit. Have you ever had a haircut where they cut off too much hair and then you feel like you look a little silly for a few days? That's happened to me too. Our next word for the word bank is the word comfortable. Comfortable. That means feeling at ease or peaceful. We're going to add the word fluff to our word bank. Fluff. Fluff means to shake, pat, or brush something to make it look fuller and softer. Sometimes we fluff up a pillow. The next word for our word bank is the word finished. Finished. That just means that it's ended. It's completely done. Finished. We're going to add the word remind to our word bank. Remind. Remind means to cause somebody to remember something that they forgot. And our final word for the word bank today is the word thirsty. Thirsty. Thirsty means feeling a need to drink something, craving liquid. And you have to be careful with the mouse, because if the mouse is craving liquid and you give him milk, he's gonna want another cookie. As Ken Waters mentioned, there's a great activity in this book. There's a game that you can play. So the final page of the book is a game board. And it gives you directions on how you can make little game pieces from pieces of paper. And then you can start your pieces on the journey. Now, it helps if you have a spinner. And I brought a spinner that I took from one of my other games. I took this spinner from the game Chutes and Ladders. So if I spin, whoops, that wasn't a very good spin. There we go. If I spin, I came up with the number 6. I could move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it would be somebody else's turn. In this game, when you land on one of the colored squares, that's when you see the effect of landing on one of the squares. For example, if I landed here on this orange one, it says, "Great smile, move ahead 3 spaces." So I would be able to move ahead. But some of the times when you land on a space, it isn't as positive as having a great smile. For example, landing on this space here says, you're thirsty for some more milk, move back one space. I hope that you'll share this book with your family, and I hope that you'll take time to play the game at the end of the book. It can be really fun to play this game, and also fun to read this book over and over and over again. I remember when my niece was very young, I read this book out loud to her about 25 times in just one weekend. We had so much fun, and I still really love this book. If you take time to play this game, maybe you'll take a picture of you and your family playing it and send it to us at connect@grade-level-reading-suncoast.net. I love cookies. I love this book. And I love being able to spend time with you talking about reading. Reading is the key to succeeding. Until we meet again, my friends. Bye for now.